Hi, I'm BryCox, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. For this video, I want to talk about equipment insurance. I had a photographer friend email me, and she's upset because she just dropped her camera, and so she just destroyed about $5,000 worth of equipment at an event, at a gig, a paid gig, and she's worried about what to do next. Well, all right, so there's a couple layers to this. One, we need insurance for our equipment, but at the same time, how do you finish that event and maybe the next couple gigs you got lined up while your camera's getting fixed, right? So that means we need a backup equipment and we need backup plans. So I wrote an article some years ago for a bridal blog. They wanted me to write about how to pick a great photographer, and one of my recommendations was make sure your photographer has backup equipment and a backup plan for broken equipment. And that made photographers around the country mad, because they were like, people were emailing me like, you don't know, you're only saying this because you're such a big shot and you don't know what it's like to only have one camera. I was like, you guys, when I was, one of my first weddings, 20-something years ago, anyway, a long time ago, right? When I was an early young photographer, and my first time someone asked me to shoot a wedding, I only had one camera. But guess what I did? I went and rented another camera that I never took out of the bag. I just had it with me because I was scared to death that what if these guys are relying on me and this one piece of equipment that I have breaks? It could break. It didn't, but it could. Have you ever had anything break on you at a wedding or something? Over the years, eventually you will. I know I've had, and I've always been grateful to have a backup plan. So here's the thing, you don't need multiples of exactly the same camera and exactly the same setup for lighting and exactly the same setup for everything, because that can sometimes get expensive. You say you got a $5,000 camera and lens combo or whatever, and you want, say, 2 or 3 of those. Ideally, you want 3 options, right? Because the chances of one breaking is a certain amount, so then you go to the second one. The chances of this one and that one going down become, quite a bit less by having 2 options. You get 3, you're at like 100% chance of covering yourself for 3 options. But it doesn't mean having $15,000 worth of just cameras, like 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, or whatever that number is, whatever that setup is, having a duplicate setup. You just need another option. And if you don't have an extra camera body and extra lenses or ways to trigger flashes or extra flashes with you or studio lights or something, you need another option of some kind, whether it be a cheaper camera, smaller camera, a used camera, something that you can just keep in your bag and you just pull out for emergencies, and then ideally even a third thing. And that third thing, and I've talked about this quite a bit, I've done videos on this, can even be a high-end professional point-and-shoot camera, something small, something little, but that has a hot shoe so you can run flashes, something with manual control, something that shoots raw, right? And you can get one of those kind of cameras for under $1,000, and they've got a lens built in that kind of pop out, pop in. Do you want to be shooting a wedding with that? Not really. But would you shoot that if you had this go down and that go down and that's your option? Yeah. So one, don't go to your events with only one option of any kind. If I'm shooting lighting and I'm bringing in lighting, I have more than I need that just stay there. And right, it's part of being a professional is being prepared. So one, be prepared at the event, and 2 is the equipment insurance. And this is super big. A lot of people will say, but you don't understand, I can't afford insurance. And I'm like, I can't either. But here's the thing, I can't afford to not have it, and that's why I have insurance. I can't afford to just replace, if I drop a $5,000 camera, to just go, okay, I guess I'm just going to write in a $5,000 check, and I break that, I'm just going to write it again, and break that and write it again. I can't afford to just constantly fix and replace things just out of the blue. That's why we have insurance. And here's a great member benefit to being a member of PPA, Professional Photographers of America. If you're a member of PPA, you get free equipment insurance up to a certain amount. The trick is when you join PPA, you have to opt into the insurance because it's insurance. It can't just be given to you free. You have to opt in. It doesn't cost you anything, but you have to make sure to activate it. So make sure, one, be a member of PPA, because there's a lot of other great reasons too, but this is one good reason. Join PPA as a professional photographer. And then make sure you opt into your equipment insurance. And then in terms of insurance, also think about business insurance. What if somebody trips and falls at your studio? What if somebody trips and falls on location, not at your studio? You're at a wedding and they want to sue you because you're the one that told them to stand there and pose and then they tripped and fell, right? That could happen. What if you're off the beaten path, you're in the woods, and they bang their head into a tree or something, or whatever? There's lots of reasons you need business insurance to just protect you aside from just equipment. And sometimes they'll even give you more equipment insurance on top of what PPA gives you. But you need to protect yourself for that, because some people are sue happy. It's sad. It's a sad state of the world, but you need to protect yourself against those kind of things. And then if you have a studio, make sure you have things like, homeowner's insurance if it's in your home, or business insurance if it's on location. Have those kind of things that protect you against things like fire and those kind of things as well. Equipment, lost equipment. So that dropping one thing doesn't just completely devastate your world. Now here's the last thing. Let's say you break that camera and you finish the gig out with camera number 2, and then you go home that night and you send this off to Canon or Nikon to get fixed. And you go, that camera 2 is great for the day, but I don't want to continue to shoot this for the next week. Here's a great idea. Rent something for that next week. Rent something that's maybe more equivalent to that nicer big camera that you just broke to finish things out with, and then you can ship that back when yours comes back, right? And you still got 3 options in the meantime while that's getting fixed. I hope that helped you guys. I think it's a good thing. Think in terms of equipment insurance, business insurance, and being prepared with more options at your event. All right, if you have more questions, if you have any comments on this, if you agree, disagree, maybe you disagree. Maybe you think one camera's great. I don't know. Whatever you want to let me know, write it below. Maybe you've got a horror story. Maybe you don't want to put this online. Then you're like, yeah, I had a camera break and everyone got pissed off at me. No, maybe you don't want to say that online. But whatever, you got a comment about this? Let me know, and check out more of my full courses, which go way more in depth into lighting and everything else at my website, BryCoxWORKSHOPS, BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. All right, you guys, until next time, America.